You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, we have got Maxie Jones in crisis after a heart attack that nearly killed her, and she's still not out of the woods. Looks like she may slip into a coma, and in the end, Maxie might need another heart transplant to live. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about who might die so that Maxie can get their heart and survive this crisis, if indeed she does need a new heart. But first, please click subscribe if you're not following us. So right now, Felicia and Mac are beside themselves with worry. Maxie's sort of brother Cody is also really stressed about all of this. And of course, Lulu and Brooklyn are terrified. Liesl is upset. Everybody's distraught. And Lulu and BLQ even put their grudge aside to unite and be there for their mutual bestie. But Maxie remains unconscious following her heart attack, and Lucas Jones is worried because she should be awake by now. Liesl is also worried and was just telling Lulu that the longer it takes Maxie to wake up, the more likely it is she might fall into a coma. And of course, that was hard for Lulu to hear, having just come out of a lengthy coma herself. So everybody's coming together to support Maxie and the Scorpio family. It has been decades, if you don't remember, since Maxie had that heart transplant as a child. The heart that she got from BJ Jones was back in 1994. That's how long her heart has been beating in Maxie's chest. And whether it's given out or maybe it was sabotaged is a big question, because there's that mysterious enzyme in her blood that may have damaged Maxie's heart. And Anna's worried Maxie was poisoned, but either way, she may need another heart transplant to survive. With Nathan coming back from the dead soon, maybe if something was done to sabotage her, maybe it's tied into his return. But no matter the reason, Maxie's loved ones may soon be searching for a new heart for her. And that has me wondering if somebody dies so Maxie can get their heart and live. And I've got a few ideas of who might die as a sacrifice to end this heart crisis. First, we need to talk about Cody, who is basically Maxie's brother because he is Mac's biological son, and she considers Mac her dad, and he's been a father figure to Maxie for most of her life because her bio dad, Frisco Jones, has not been around very much. And I mention him because Josh Kelly, who plays Cody Bell, recently decided to go on recurring status with General Hospital because he wanted to work on other projects and he needed some flexibility. So for that reason, I think he's a good candidate. And Cody was just talking about how good Maxie has been to him and how it's because of her that Cody is a part of the Scorpio family. So if something happens to Cody, maybe his last words are, "Give Maxie my heart." Of course, Mac would be crushed if he lost his son, his only biological child, but also he would be grateful to Cody for saving Maxie, and Cody would go out a hero. The second person to consider is her dad, Frisco. Now, he's been gone a long time, so he is very disposable. GH could have him die off screen and the heart is delivered there, or they could bring back Jack Wagner for a couple of episodes to make this happen. He was just over on Bold and the Beautiful recently. Usually he is at work on When Calls the Heart. And the only sibling Frisco has that I can remember is Tony Jones, and he died a long time ago back in 2006. So, of course, it's not going to be Maxie's uncle, but something could happen to Frisco and Maxie winds up with her father's heart. On my list is somebody I think everybody might like to see sacrifice his heart, but before we talk about him, let's talk about something awful, the most heartbreaking option. With Nathan coming back soon, it would be absolutely terrible if he came back and Maxie somehow wound up with his heart inside her. That way, Nathan would always be with her, but in a really sad way. I doubt it, since Ryan Paevey said he was staying a while, and I feel like General Hospital would not go to all the trouble of bringing Ryan Paevey back as Nathan just to kill him again. I hope not, but it's worth mentioning. And I do know that they haven't officially confirmed he's Nathan, but a reliable leaker did, and it makes sense. And another horrible thing to think about was if something happened to one of Maxie's kids, because GH will kill off children now and then. BJ Jones was little when she died. That's how Maxie got her heart. So I really hope they're not going down any kind of route that involves a kid. So Now let's talk about the one person I think people would be glad to see die so that Maxie can live. And I think it'd be ironic because this guy seems pretty heartless. So it seems like there wouldn't be anything in there to donate. And you can probably guess I'm talking about Drew Cain. Pretty much everybody in town wants him dead, and they would probably choke him and drop him gasping his last breaths at the doorstep of General Hospital with a note stapled to his forehead. Please yank out his worthless heart and use it to save Maxie. You know, Drew just threatened Michael that he'll never stop coming for the kids because Drew is determined to get them back to Willow. And I'm wondering if Sonny might have Drew taken out because he just won't stop. And he said he won't stop. Plus, Curtis is ready to kill Drew because of what he's done to his Aunt Stella. And don't forget, Sidwell and his son Marco were just discussing that Drew is becoming more of a liability and they may need to deal with him in a permanent way. So with Maxie needing a heart and Drew marked for death by Sonny and Sidwell, well, you never know. And I think fans would actually cheer that outcome. Now, there's also the chance it could be some random person or a minor character that is more expendable. Somebody like dirty WSB agent Colette or that creep at the resort who is bullying Britt, Pascal. It could be Vaughn. Since two of Jocelyn's other boyfriends died, Oscar and Dex, he might join the, date Jocelyn and die club. And another person to mention is Marco, simply because his life was already at risk and Sonny might circle back around and hurt him if the whole issue between him and Sidwell heats up again. But of course, if something happened to Marco, that would absolutely crush poor Lucas. So if Maxie does need a new heart, they also might do something really twisted. Now, if you don't know, Will DeVry, he used to play Julian Jerome when he was killed off a few years ago, but he used to be on Bold and the Beautiful. And his character died over there. And it's not that he died, it's how he died. So Will DeVry played a character named Storm Logan. And his sister Katie Logan needed a heart transplant. So Storm knew that he was a blood type match for his sister. So he went up to the hospital, if I'm recalling the location correctly, and he shot himself so that his sister could get his heart. And she did. And because he did it right at the hospital, they were able to pluck it right out of him and put it right into his sister's body. And sure enough, she survived. But I really hope they don't do something like that at General Hospital and we don't get someone beloved doing this and sacrificing themselves. But if they were going to do it, I feel like it might be Cody. We'll see how it works out.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.